Hi, I'm Jonah. I'm 22, and I read the book Difficult Conversations, and I learn best when I take the concepts that I read about and I make a video about them, I talk about them out loud, and if this is valuable for my future self, then it's worth it. And if it's valuable for just one other person, then I'll be happy. So, Difficult Conversations is a book about having hard conversations, and it goes through lots of examples, but there's really just two key concepts that you have to have when you go into a conversation. First, you have to be emotionally open because if you understand somebody else, you can't hate them. And the second is every single view that somebody has is usually based on their most previous experience and is a culmination of all the experiences they've ever had. With the core concept being you can't hate somebody because if you lived the life that they had and had the DNA they had and had every single experience leading up to the time that they made this choice, you would make the exact same choice they did. So if you are unhappy with the choice they made, it's only because you don't understand them. And I think this has huge application in your personal life, in grudges, in potentially criminals or people who commit fraud or people who don't and act a certain way. It gives so much perspective. So to start off, you have to be emotionally open, and this is point number one. And whenever you have tight, tense conversations, whether it's a relationship with a significant other, whether it's with a work colleague or a prospect or governments talking about these huge, complex issues, you have to be emotionally open to understand the other people and what they need. And if you don't do that, you simply won't have effective conversations. You have to understand them. And a great example is if an aunt complains about back pain but doesn't want to change her old mattress because she has emotional attachments to it, anything that you try to change will be seen by her as a challenge. So if she's complaining, and you say, "Oh well, why don't you just switch out the mattress?" You're gonna hit a wall where she's like, "I can't believe you'd say that. Like, why would I switch out my mattress?" And to you, it seems so irrational. Like, oh my goodness, you have this mattress, it's old, it doesn't support your back. Of course your back is going to hurt. But for her, it's, hey, I had these experiences. My husband had passed away. And I don't want to change this mattress because I feel like I'm letting go of a piece of him. Now, once you understand that emotionally, you think, oh, of course, we have to find another solution that works with her framework because there's emotions attached to it. And if you just look at it like, oh, you're ridiculous, can't believe it, you got to get rid of this mattress, you're going to skip over so many opportunities to connect with people and push them away because you don't understand. And so the last one is every view that we have is based on our experiences. So if you take two people in the exact same situation, they're going to pay attention to different information. And they might walk away with completely different views of the situation. And we may have access to the same information, but we just have different frameworks and mechanisms for processing it. So a great example of this is you have two people at a job. One is Black, the other is Korean, and they have completely different perspectives on how the company treats minorities and the opportunities available to them. Maybe there's a position that opens up, they're both equally qualified, but simply because one was raised in Korea and one was raised in an African American community, they have completely different perspectives on the outcome and the motivations behind it. And you have to be able to look at somebody and know that their past experience influences them immensely in how they view things. We don't know other people's personal experience. We didn't have the same when they were 5 years old and their parents did X and this caused them to act a certain way. We just don't know those things. They have their own children, friends, spouse, conversations with coworkers, or anything you can think of. And it's always a good idea to assume that there is important information we don't have access to and proceed accordingly. So if you need to have a difficult conversation, first you have to be emotionally open and understanding of the person, and second you have to know that based on their experience, they're going to have a framework and a paradigm for looking at the world that's going to heavily impact them, and you need to take that into account so that you can have those conversations with them when they need to be had, because you sometimes have to solve an issue with your spouse where you got to decide if you take the kids to soccer or if you take them to baseball, because you need to decide between these two sports, and it's your mom, she wants to do this, you want to do this, and you have to come to a conclusion because Freddie just wants to play a sport. You guys have to make the decision. If this was valuable for you, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you read this book, or do you have other opinions on how to have difficult conversations, ways you can learn from this? And you're the best. Bye.